Hello! You may remember this pantry from previous videos like the giant can wall or the storage units that we built. Well, a lot of people saw those videos and they commented on it and they said, wow, your wire shelves don't look as cool as all this other stuff. So we're going to give in to peer pressure and we're going to fix the shelves. Yes, even we are susceptible to peer pressure.
First came the giant can rack that holds up to 100 cans. We know, we've checked. Then we built another rack for the door, but it wasn't enough. The pantry needed more.
Now you know that we build a lot of really cool stuff. Just check out our other videos. A lot of our stuff is complex, odd, steampunky, electronics, that sort of thing. But we also build simple stuff. And the simple stuff should not be overlooked. When you build small things like this, like shelves that improve your life, well, it makes your kitchen experience better. So I'm going to show you how we built these basic simple shelves that fit in with all these other modifications we made here in this pantry to make this a better pantry. It's cheap, it's easy. I'll show you how I did it.
For our shelves, we decided to use edge-glued board. This is board made of strips of pine that are glued together. The advantage to using this is that it's cheap and the edge looks like a regular board, not the rough edge that you see on plywood. It cuts very easily. Actually, it cuts easier than plywood. And I was easily able to replicate the size of the current pantry shelves with this edge-glued board.
Another great thing about this edge-glued board is that after you cut it off like we did to make the shelves, you end up with some pretty high-quality scraps. This is good stuff. It's not warped. It can be painted or stained, and I've got 4 of them. So this will definitely be going into future projects. Don't know what yet. It's going to go in the wood rack. So you don't really lose anything if you save your scraps.
The edge-glued board cut pretty cleanly, but I sanded it anyway just to make sure there wouldn't be any surprise splinters for pantry users in the future. Then all 4 new shelves were painted with the same paint we used for the can rack and the rack for the door. Which is kind of the point, everything is supposed to match here.
The next day.
The existing shelves were then removed. I can say one good thing about those old rusty wire shelves, they sure did come down easily. I didn't need any tools at all. Next stop, recycling.
Let's talk about shelf brackets, the things that support the shelves. We're trying to be as inexpensive as possible on this project, so instead of using brackets like this that are $5, $6 a piece that would absolutely work, we're using stamped steel ones similar to this. These can hold quite a bit and they're about $2 a piece. They come in different sizes and a pair of them will hold about 100 pounds. Now if you have 100 pounds on a 4-foot long shelf in your kitchen, you have a lot of groceries. We're probably not going to have anything like that on this one, so these will be absolutely adequate to do it. The ones we're using are slightly larger than these, but these are super cheap, so for $2 a piece, for less than $20, we can get all the shelf brackets we need. So we got cheap shelves, we got cheap shelf brackets.
And the actual brackets are white, like this white shelf bracket hiding on a white background. Screws will be attached here, 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 and here.
Easy to put up. Cheap shelf brackets are the way to go. The previous shelves had these little studs in place that held the wire shelf against the wall. They're sunk into the sheetrock and they're actually pretty solid. Instead of taking these out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them to support the new shelves. They're going to lay on top of them. And the brackets that I have underneath will pull them back against the wall. So it's a cheap and easy way to get more support for the back of the shelf, and it keeps you from having to rip 20 plus studs out of the wall and fix a bunch of sheetrock. This is going to work well and nobody even know they're there.
The mounts in the walls were already level, so I used a board to find the point where the bracket had to be installed and then drove screws into the studs behind the wall. Only 2 studs were available in this section of wall, so I was careful to make sure that all 3 mounting screws had good solid grip on the studs. After all, it's going to be holding our groceries. We don't want them to fall. Then the shelves are put on the brackets, taking care to push them against the studs on the wall so I get that support. And then screws are put in from the bottom to hold the shelves in place. They won't be slipping out.
So that's it. That's our new shelves here in the pantry. One thing I didn't point out when I was making this was I cut the shelves to 11 inches depth because I looked at the sorts of things we had on here and we weren't using the full length of the other shelves except for a couple of minor things like this. So I made them an inch more narrow, and there's more room here in this narrow pantry, so that's nice. And those vertical bars and the lips that were on here, everything are gone, so all that extra infrastructure that was just in the way is gone. So now the cereal boxes and things like that slide right in. We don't run into the shelves and so forth. So really cheap way to upgrade a pantry. It's actually cheaper to put wood shelves up than it is for wire shelves, and wood shelves are better. You can put things like this on them and they aren't going to fall over like they do on wire shelves. So we prefer this, and now it matches the can rack and the rack in the door and everything. Now there's some wire shelves in the back. We're just going to ignore those and we're going to leave them because I don't want to go crawling around back there to make those. Who cares? It's pantry. But this is an easy one. This is the kind of thing you should be doing to your house to make it more usable. Look at how you use your house. Look at what types of things you put on the shelves, what kind of space you need and so forth, and build your house to match your requirements, not necessarily what you see in a showroom or in a magazine. If you make it fit what you do, it's going to be more usable for you and you're going to enjoy it more. Plus it's a fun project. So this just took me a day to do, so just a short one, but it's good, and the wife's going to be home in just a few minutes, and she'll see this and hopefully she'll like it. So yay. Thanks to our patrons. We love you. You actually helped us buy these brackets, so many thanks. This is the kind of thing you help us do, and of course the previous project, the iron end table, was a monster, so we have some big projects and some little projects in between, and there's more big ones to come. So if you want to see the updates on what's coming the next month, join us at any level as a patron and we'll tell you what's going on the following month. That's it. If you like this sort of thing, go check out our other videos and like, subscribe, make some comments, let us know what you think. Well, see you next time.